afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another video here today. So we got a couple things going on. We did hear back on the air conditioning on the 08. It turns out the compressor looks like it came apart and therefore went through the entire system. So the busy road, what can I say? So it needs a new compressor, a new filter dryer, needs the whole system flushed and then recharged. So parts ordered for that, hopefully done tomorrow. I say hopefully done tomorrow because if it's not, we might have a problem here. Last night talking with our buddy with the Ford 7.3, maybe he'll pass by right now, maybe not, but talking with him, he wants to weld up the rear and fix the, holy crap, busy time. But he wants to fix, weld the rear up, like I said. He also wants to fix the crack on the frame here. So what the plan is that he wants to do to shorten the time, instead of draining the fluid over at his house, prepping everything, have me prep it today, get all the fluid drained out, try and clean that up really well, put it on the trailer and drive it over to him. That way tomorrow after work, all he's got to do is basically just unload it, get straight to welding. That way he's not tied up that much. He's only got to spend like an hour or two on it, rather than, like I said, wait for all the fluid to drain, all that other stuff. But the problem is the tow rig is getting the AC fixed. I'm hoping that it's fixed tomorrow, because if it's not fixed tomorrow, then we have no way of transporting. You know, this is the problem. You buy a truck, you start modifying it, then you got to buy another truck to haul that other truck around. Then when that truck breaks, well, then you need another truck, because now you just screwed with everything. And that's why when people say that once you start messing with something, you never have the reliability, they couldn't be more true. And I would fully agree with that. Now, the tow rig is down because of just general maintenance, but like I mentioned, once you start screwing with something, you're done for. You're done for. In addition to prepping the crack and draining the fluid, one of you guys did mention, and of course it's not focused, but the crank sensor has a specification how far it needs to be away from the balancer. I think it might be too close. We got our old trusty feeler gauges out here. So before we drain the fluid, before we drop the sway bar, because we're going to have to drop the sway bar, I think, to get to the crack in the frame here. Drop that bracket down, drop the sway bar out of the way. I want to try and fix this overdrive issue. If it's not this simple fix, I think we are just going to get to draining the fluid, dropping the sway bar, getting the frame prepped for time's sake, but I figured this was easy enough to try right now. And not that you will be able to tell, but there is the difference. I believe it's like 49 thousandths or 50 thousandths, whatever it was. It was probably double that tight, so it was quite a bit tight. But let's go take this thing for a quick drive. Transmission fluid should now be perfect. Hopefully, I said that before, but fluid level good. Maybe it was just that sensor being too close. Oh yeah, never gets old. I should also mention we do have our speedometer to make sure we can actually see if we are just blazing the trail or going slower than I think. So, a couple things here, let's go. And of course we have to turn on our air conditioning, so let's get that turned on. All right, full blast. And don't say the tint looks purple, it's just the camera, people. Alrighty, people, I do not think we are going to have such luck as that being the issue. It looks like, and it's extremely hard to obviously have four things going at one time, but it looks like the speedometer is still reading a slightly faster in the truck than when it's usually going. It's not quite as a rocket ship as I thought, but I still don't believe that we have overdrive. Down while we were cruising. This thing said about 65 and my little GPS Jimmy said 60, so I think it's about 5 miles an hour off. So who knows? Back to the house we go. Shift, dang it. Come on, you can do it. Alrighty, well, no such luck with the easy fix on that one, but we're gonna start draining the rear end fluid, getting to fixing the crack, well, prepping the crack for Russell. Maybe we'll crawl underneath there, maybe we can see something underneath there by the transmission. And if it's not something easy, I don't know, maybe we should just drop it off at our buddy Muldoon's Diesel, have the transmission built. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe we should just get the transmission built. That's a good excuse, right? I mean, I don't know. Not shifting, forced upgrades. I don't know. Who knows? Oh boy. This thing feels a lot lower than last time. Oh wait, because it was on jack stands last time. Russell's gonna be like, what the heck are you making me do? And just to reiterate the point, this rear axle is getting swapped, and I'm putting gloves on just so you know. That noise. But the rear end is getting swapped. I don't want to put a single more penny into this rear end. That's why we're not getting a spool. That's why we're not getting a locker. We are doing this the cheap, old-fashioned, off-roading kind of sort of way. And if it breaks, then it's not going to bother me, so it shouldn't bother you. Alrighty, so it's been a while since I picked up the camera, and I know it's echoey under here. I apologize, but the rear is completely cleaned up now. Got all of the gear oil off of that, well, as good as possible. We'll probably have to go over it once more before we start welding on it, but that is the opening in there. I got a little plate also to wedge in there to weld everything together once it's all welded. It's kind of I'll go over it when we're doing it, but got a plate to even strengthen it even more. So, like I mentioned, the plan is to load it on the trailer when we have the truck, but we don't have the truck, so we can't even load it on the trailer now. We're going to let that air out. Currently wheeling to the front of the truck on the creeper here to show you the crack progress. So we got the crack all prepped. I am going to drill the holes and probably do the rest of that at Russell's house. I know a lot of guys were saying to cut a little groove in there. You can see I started the flap wheel. You can almost not see it anymore, but it's starting to separate a little bit right there. We'll get the holes drilled where it's cracked up there. He's going to weld this all down, and I did also make a plate for this as well to weld to span that. So that is the progress, ladies and gentlemen. I know everyone is just about ready to unsubscribe from my channel seeing that we put yellow shocks on this thing. I know it upset quite a few people, but we got them taped off here, and we are going to paint these so everyone doesn't unsubscribe. So we got the Greg A paint booth set up in the backyard here, which is really just me holding it by hand. But we do have a pretty nice dry setup. And you guys thought I just bought the roll cart just to put tools on. Come on now. So got the drying cart all set up. I will say this. If you didn't want a topside creeper before, what I usually do is take off this little pouch, get my little hooks here, hang something just like that. Topside creeper becomes a topside paint booth. So if you didn't want one, that's just another reason why to get one. All right. Paint booth, set the timer, 30 minutes, boop, 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 boop. Okay, we'll wait. Maybe throw another coat on there. So I just want to fill you guys in on this. I mentioned this like way early in the channel, but probably you guys don't a lot to know this. So seeing that we have to delete the lawn quite frequently around here, seeing that we have like 3-ish acres, the house that we're currently in, we bought as pretty much an investment. The previous owner had bought it, only finished the downstairs. It was supposed to be a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It was only a 2 and 2. So we actually bought the house knowing that we had to renovate that. Took us like 3 to 4 years to renovate that. Me, my wife, and my wife's dad did all that with the help of subbing some stuff out to like on the side guy kind of guys. But recently, we actually just finished, just got our CO certificate of occupancy. So the upstairs is now completely done. So with that being said, we knew that once that was done, we were going to start looking for a different house, something that had like 5-8 acres to put a pretty big shop on. So we're in the current process of trying to find another place to eventually move to. I do want and need a bigger shop. As everybody knows that we are busting out of the current situation, but in due time we are going to be moving to a bigger shop, facility, warehouse, one way, shape, or form or another. We are going to get a bigger shop. So that is in the works. It is coming. As it happens, I'll keep you guys updated. Extremely blessed to have what I have now. It certainly has served me very well. I can still do everything I need, but as most of you guys can see, I've kind of outgrown it, definitely as far as space. I would love to have a lift. Having a lift is like my... that's what I want. So we're working towards that just to fill you guys in. Building a shop here is definitely possible. New Jersey is definitely not the easiest place to try and put a big shop up. They think you're going to try and start a commercial shop out of it if you want to put up like a 30 by 30 here. So not to say it couldn't be done, but the plan was always to find something much bigger to put a big shop on. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, stop rambling. You guys can see anything down here like usual because this thing's so low. Oh. Alrighty guys, rounding out the night, just starting with the fan wiring. Got it grounded and then ran the wires alongside here to the thermostat, and then also in this loom going to the front, which is not yet run. Just got it bundled up here on the frame. Basically the switch 12-volt ignition to power the thermostat, and then also a manual override wire going to the main power wire. So there's 2 sets of wires going to the front, but everything back here is pretty much done. All I gotta do is finish running the wires up to the front and put one on the manual switch that's not installed in the dash, and then one on the switched ignition source. Big thank you to the lovely assistant, Allie. I really don't know how these dashes come apart yet, but it looks like right here, like 1, 2, I could fit a nice couple switches right in there, and that would look good. So I just gotta figure out how to take that apart, continue running the wires, but that's pretty much it. Hopefully we get the 08 back tomorrow. We can hook up to the trailer, get this thing loaded up. Alrighty guys, that is gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta go inside, get some more work done, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.